Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is AG Taylor and I'm so excited that you've joined me today. I'm going to be talking all things kindergarten supplemental resources that I used for my first year of homeschooling my kindergartner. And I also homeschooled my schooler, I guess? Not pre-K until next year. So he was 3 and now has turned 4. So without further ado, here we go. So with kindergarten, we worked mostly on the reading, the writing, and the math. And so with the math, I'm going to start off by saying, first of all, we did use the good and the beautiful. And so a lot of these things really worked well in conjunction. I'm sure all the other curriculums would work well with these too, but I just want to say it did really work well. So this is a graphs and charts, and of course these are all going to be Usborne because I am an Usborne consultant and I love Usborne and more books, all of our books obviously. I'm a little biased, but the graphs and the charts activity book was really good. Now, we didn't dive into this as much because I didn't get it until late in the game, but it kind of starts off really simple. Ice cream, number of people, 2 had strawberry, 4 had chocolate, 1 had vanilla. So it's introducing them to the idea of graphs, and it gets a little harder as they go, but it was a really good introduction for the times that I did use it for my kindergartner. This one I absolutely loved. Now we use this in the very second half of his schooling, but this is measuring things lift to flap, and this was so awesome. Now it's a lift to flap, so all these little flaps open up and there's more information in it. The snake is exactly 1 foot long. This snake is twice as long, so it's 2 feet long. So I just love how there's so much information, but I literally would do just a page. It would be way too much to do this whole book or even multiple pages. So we would just work on 1 page, maybe 2, but here I would just use this, and this was so great. So it has centimeters and inches on it, and then it just goes right back into place. So I really enjoyed this book for the, of course this isn't gonna go on there now that I'm doing this, but for his math, because he really enjoyed measuring. And he really kind of excelled in math, so that was awesome. Okay, another math book that we used is the adding and subtracting book. Again, this is a lift to flap and is just awesome. It starts off easy and gets harder, but we start out with adding and subtracting. What is 1 plus 3 seagulls? This is the addition sign, and so it's pointing to that. 1 plus 3 is 4. So it's just really, I don't know, he had a lot of fun. It gets into fact families, number bonds, using a number timeline, which we used a lot. And then it kind of gets a little harder for him as we went on, so we didn't get to this. So this would definitely be more for the first, second, maybe even 3rd grade on that one. But I love that, can kind of grow with your kid. And then the math shapes. This one was awesome for all those 3D shapes as well. So it had what are shapes, and we have a side, we have the width, the height, all of that. And then I just love, and again, this is a lift to flap one, but this is where we get into the really fun stuff. So this is actually creating a 3D box or cuboid. And then we have the flaps going up here to create a pyramid. I don't know if you can see that. So it's just really interactive, really fun, and it was a really great way to make it more fun with him having his curriculum, but adding this in with it. So I loved that one. This one is a little young, but I did use it for him too. So I use this a lot for my preschooler as well. It's the numbers book, and it starts off pretty easy. Like there's 3 horses and 4 scooters, and then you find the lions, and there's 5. So again, it's very basic, but for my kindergartner, I use this to teach the odds and the evens. So he would learn from there. And then this is another wheel of odds and evens. And then at the end, they have 1 person gets on the bus, 1 plus 1 is 2. So you do have a little adding little roadmap there, which is really fun. Okay, the last one I used for math, well, not the last one, but one of the last ones is this book of comparisons, which when we were doing the measurements and stuff, it really did. Now it's very informative. So there's a lot of information, but I would pick a page and I'd be like, oh my gosh, look at, this is what a giraffe looks like, and this is how big a polar bear is. So it really does show some great images of just comparing different things throughout the whole entire book. So that's an awesome one too. Okay, this one was really fun for telling time that he also learned in his math class. And this is very basic. So it starts off with, just the solid numbers of 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then at the very end, you get into, the half mark, which was fun to introduce him to that. So I like that one as well. Okay, science. My boy loves science. Like, he would do experiments all day long if he could. This was really great, a resource. I really suggest this for any homeschool family. This is a children's encyclopedia, and so it has tons of information, and each page is different as I have stuff falling out. But it's all just, no, I don't want to say random, but I mean just Viking raiders, and you have communicating, different ways of communicating, and magnets. I mean, there's just literally, I feel like every subject you could ever want. And then there's maps in the back, and there's QR code. Just an awesome resource to have. So if we did like a study on the weather, I would look up all the, things on weather, and then we would talk about some of this stuff, and it would have QR codes. So we would look on the internet for videos and things for weather. This is another great one for weather. It's a turning wheel. Very informative, just like the other ones, but it has that kind of fun wheel aspect to it. So snow and ice, thunder and lightning. That was a really fun one to use too. All right, the See Inside Your Body is awesome. This would be great for any kind of study on the body. And so this is going to be another one of those lift flaps, and you're going to look inside the esophagus, into the stomach, all the way intestines, and then, of course it comes out as, at the end. So you always have to talk about that, and they love that. But just so much information on all these. Again, this is lift flaps, so you're going to be looking inside the body for all of the fun breathing, pumping the blood, bones and muscle. I mean, just all the things. I love this one about senses. It's so fun. It's so cool. Yeah, so much to learn there. And then for science, again, we did a lot of these activities, which are so awesome. I love this. It's a spiral bound book, all jam-packed full of all these science experiments, which are just so fun. Another one is the 50 science things to make. This is also great for a lot of those little, what do I do today kind of things for fun. A lot of great ideas in this one too. Okay, read alouds. I did a couple read alouds. So these Bear Grylls books were awesome. My kiddos are boys, so it's definitely a read aloud. They're not reading it to me, but we would do a chapter a day or a couple times a week, and they really got into the story. And it's really like how to survive in the mountain challenge, and there's tons of these that we have. So they enjoyed that. Also Hotel Flamingo, which is really sweet and cute. It does tend to be a little pink, but it's still fine for boys, absolutely. It's just the color. It's, flamingos are pink. But this was a great read aloud as well. All right, the wipe cleans. I loved these because when I was working with my preschooler, I was able to give Mason these and go, okay, I want you to do this. And he was able to do a lot of this on his own. So this one's really great. It's about money, and I really loved it. The only thing I don't think I loved, which is not a huge thing, is it did say pugs instead of like coins. So I had to explain to him that they're just changing the name. I have 2 pugs, which pugs are just coins in this case. But it does come with a marker, and it's just a great kind of, I guess, different from a textbook kind of thing. We have tons of these. This is a phonics one. Just give you a little look inside these. Just so great for the beginner readers. We have Get Ready for School, which would be great for preschool as well. I would say early kindergartner or preschool, just learning your numbers and letters. And then action words to copy. This was another great one to kind of change it up sometimes when he was like, oh, I don't want to, do another sheet of paper. Well, I would pull this out and he would do it, and it would be a lot different for him and his brain. And then, okay, color by numbers. We didn't get to this, but this would be really great. Now, my kids don't necessarily like to color really well. And so if you do have a child that likes to color a lot, this would be great for that kindergartner age where they have some, you know, things that are already colored in, but some that aren't. So, okay, step-by-step drawing book. I love our drawing books. They're so amazing. And they're going to tell you literally step-by-step, draw this, draw this, draw this. And then you have, obviously, the end product that you can look at there. But, I mean, he would just, I don't even know. I guess it's the owl. I mean, it's so cute. Try to draw these. I don't know where his little fish is. It's so precious. Oh, there it is. See if I can get it. So I just love, love, love these for still keeping their mind going, but it's not like a textbook where they're like, you know, arguing or whatever. We had some of that this year of, I don't want to do that. Okay, this one is the maze. What is it? It is Around the World Mazes. And I gave this to him when I was like, okay, I'm working with your brother. I want you to do something fun. Can you do this maze? And he loved these. He loves them actually in the car too. He'll take it and do them in the car. And we also have the big maze book. So last but not least, I want to highlight the My First Reading Library. I always mess that up and it's just a different title, but I got it right. And it is awesome because there's 50 books in it. There's the green books that are going to be like the beginner. We're going to have the orange, it's going to get a little harder, and then the purple is going to get a little harder. This one is number 1 in it. It's called Double Trouble. So what you're going to have is actually, it's going to explain how the book works, which I'm going to do right now. But this is going to be what I'm going to read, or the parent's going to read, or even an older sibling that can read to their learning reader. And then you're going to have I Am Sid. And so they're going to learn how to read, but they're not going to have these like boring books that only have a couple words in them. I'm going to be saying this, and then they're going to be saying this. So it's still engaging where you're, you know, engaged with the story more. And then Dan, I am Sid. So it's repetitive. It's really great, and they're fun and funny. And at the end, there's going to be puzzles, which are really awesome. So it's going to ask you look at the pictures together and try to retell the story, which helps with comprehension. It's going to have 3 puzzles at the end. It's also going to have the answers, of course, for us moms who sometimes are like, I don't know the answer. And then it's going to have guidance notes as well, and then the different letters that we're focusing on during the book. I absolutely love these. They're so great, and it's going to grow with your child. Like I said, it's a great gift if you have someone that's trying to start to read and they don't know what to get them for their birthday or maybe for Christmas or whatever is coming up. So like I said before, I am a consultant. So if you do want a wish list, I would be more than happy to make you one and send you over that and yeah, hook you up with some of these awesome books. So with all that said, happy summer if it's summer and you're watching this. If it's not, happy homeschool, and we will see you soon.